I'm Donna Burr, for anybody that is on the webinar that I don't know, haven't met, a partner in our Melbourne office with the interim executive team, and joined by the broader team, including Jacinta, Caroline, Alex, Suze, Ali, Maddie and Yash, and many of our search partners today as well. I'd like to show my respect and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land of elders past and present on which this webinar takes place. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's webinar on revolutionising your executive job search with AI, the power of ChatGPT, our 5th webinar for the year. We pride ourselves in bringing a diverse range of topics to your screen this year, including our Board Diversity Report findings for 2023, the State of the Market update from the Advisory Board Centre, and many, many more. The recordings for all of these webinars are available to you on our website. And an exciting week for us at Watermark as well, as yesterday we launched our 2nd piece of thought leadership for the year, the Interim Executive Market Insight Survey for 2023. We had over 400 executives respond to the survey who've worked as an interim in the Australian market in the last year. Some new and emerging themes to share this year on longevity, the skills revolution, adaptive leadership, on the current state of the interim market in Australia. And you'll get to meet our new interim avatars for 2023, Eloise and Ivan, and much, much more. As always, it's a privilege to host these webinars, but especially when I'm in conversation with a wonderful friend and returned guest speaker, Renata Bernard. Renata is a friend of Watermark and is a job hunting expert, career strategist, and host of the Job Hunting podcast. Her coaching, services and social media presence aim to increase career literacy for professionals in the corporate, non-profit and public sectors. Renata runs her own consultancy platform for portfolio and executive professionals and is well versed in discussing today's topic. Welcome, Renata. I know we're going to have a lot of fun with today's session. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Donna.
You're so welcome. I'll get to some brief housekeeping and then a little bit of scene setting before I hand over to Renata. So as we said, use the chat, share your learnings and experiences. Please take the opportunity to connect. When using the chat, if you can turn your settings to all attendees and panelists so everybody can sort of see your comments and we can use these to bounce off one another. The session, like all, will be recorded and available to you after via our webpage or on LinkedIn. And we'll run for about an hour. We will specifically save some time at the end for questions, and I will try and bring some of the questions throughout the session, but really want to allow the flow of the conversation. There's a lot for us to get through. I know you're going to have a lot of questions, so we'll try and bring those in appropriately as we can. A little scene setting. So we understand through our conversations with many of you the challenges that come with executive job search. For some, it's crafting a clear and succinct resume that reflects the breadth of your experiences, or creating a LinkedIn profile that amplifies what we fondly call your superpowers and gets you noticed by the right contacts in your network. For others, it's aligning your experience to an assignment brief or a job advert to get cut through and get you a seat at the table for an interview. The marketplace is increasingly competitive, and networks and degrees of separation getting smaller and more challenging to penetrate. And overlay the digital landscape we're all touched by in 2023, algorithms used by companies and executive search firms to find candidates on LinkedIn or other platforms, or to scan resumes and cover letters to find best fit candidates for roles. The rules for engagement in the executive job market have significantly shifted, and with the evolution of technology, just like many aspects of our day-to-day life. So we thought quite timely in today's discussion to explore one aspect of this technology revolution and its impact on the executive job seeker, and that is how ChatGPT, an advanced AI language model, can assist and empower you in your executive job search, be that permanent roles, be that interim assignments, be that your consulting work or net opportunities that you're looking for. Today, Renata will explore the potential of AI to help you craft compelling resumes, optimize interview preparation, and identify opportunities that align with your superpowers. It's going to be practical, and you're very much in for a treat because she has developed a fabulous resource that you'll have access to following this session. Renata, I will stop talking and hand over to you. We're looking forward to the session.
Thank you so much, Dana. Thanks everyone for trusting me with this important topic. I've been dying to deliver this to you. It's been a couple of months that I've been planning for this, and it's so nice that it's finally here. So what I'm going to do, Dana, I'm going to close the chat. So if you could please keep an eye on questions that may come from the attendees. We have 163 people. It's amazing. I'm so delighted to see such great interest in this topic that I'm so passionate about. But I'm going to close the chat so I can actually see my screen. and we're going to I'm going to first share with you how I structure this, because I could talk about this topic underwater. It's just so much to talk about, and the more I talk about, the more I learn as well. So let's talk first about the impact of technology on recruitment and selection in general, and then we are going to look at how you can use ChatGPT to help you secure a new job. I'll give you some tips and ideas of how to use it. Then we're going to run a 10-minute demonstration of me doing it. We thought about doing it live, but I was a little bit worried about how when we share things on Zoom, it slows down a little bit, but I really wanted you to see how fast it is and how, to use the prompt. So we're going to demo that for you. And then we're going to look at what happens beyond AI, so the trends that I have noticed by working with my clients that are emerging there, because what it does, it sort of bottlenecks things towards the end of the selection process, and also may even completely revolutionize and change the selection process. So we need to keep an eye on those trends. And then, of course, I'd love to have some Q&A at the end so that you can ask me questions. Like Donna said, I do have a workbook for you. I'm going to show you a little bit of the workbook as we go through the slides, and you can download by subscribing to my newsletter. Of course, I want to be in touch with you. I mean, we have 163 people here today, and you're all sort of amazing people that I would like to be connected with. So if you subscribe to my weekly newsletter, it's the first thing that you're going to get in the first email is this workbook about ChatGPT and how to work with it. So you don't need to really take notes today if you don't want to. But before we move forward, I really want to know how experienced you are in using AI to assist with your job search. So we have lovely Alicia there who opened up a poll, and if you could please click on your preferred answer there, it will give us an idea and a good sense of your experience level. I mean, if everybody's been using it extensively, this is going to be a very short webinar. We really have no idea. It hasn't been that long. I started using ChatGPT with my group coaching program about 3 months ago when it first came out. And every session that we ran, this is a group coaching program that I have called Job Hunting Made Simple, goes on for 7 weeks. And every Q&A session every week during those 7 weeks, we played around with it. And if anyone here has done that program, maybe you're attending, you can share that on the chat, that experience, which I think was fantastic. So, okay, we have the results here. So 8% saying yes extensively. So there's 11 of you today who have been using it a lot. Yes, but only a few times. That's 42 of you. That's 29%. No, but I was aware of the possibility. That's 41. And then no, this is a completely new concept for me. That's 22. I'm not surprised. That's pretty much how I think things have been rolling. It's fairly new. I'm not, I deal with this every day. So of course, I have to use it every day, but I wouldn't expect people to be using it every day, at least not for the purpose of job seeking. So I'm going to close that, and we're going to move on to the next slide, which is an email I received literally, I don't know, was it Monday? Monday, I received this email from my client, and she had been, playing around with ChatGPT, and she wrote this: I feel like my resume and cover letter are hot messes, and I feel like a fraud because AI created them. I'm not sure if they even make sense. I guess I just do not know how to play this game, and that is why I desperately need you. Please let me know how I should proceed. I think when you're using it without a lot of guidance or understanding of, how to operate with AI, this is the feeling that I get. This sort of sentiment is very common with my clients when people do one-on-one consultations with me specifically, which is the case here. So this is when you just book online, talk to me for an hour. You don't necessarily need to buy my coaching program, which is 3 months or 6 months. And also during the group coaching program, when we first started doing it, it's a group of executives just like you, and a lot of people were really uncertain, is this right? This doesn't seem right. So that's why the first session today is going to be on the impact of technology on recruitment and selection, because I don't want people to be fooled by the parodies and jokes that are being made on social media about the inadequacies of the AI generated content. Inadequacies happen when you don't use it well. Job seekers who are aware of the technology employed by recruiters, including Watermark and employers, and can use tools like ChatGPT to tailor applications that meet these AI-driven requirements. This is a game changer for them, for you, okay? Because employers and recruiters have been using bots and ATS systems, the applicant tracking systems, and CRMs and keywords and so forth to track you and select you and shortlist you. Now you have the opportunity to level up, okay? So the recruitment landscape has dramatically evolved over the years with AI and data analytics, and it has played an increasingly central role in how people are recruited. If you follow me on the Job Hunting podcast, I have interviewed several CEOs and founders of ATS softwares. So you can just go through those interviews through the categories and find them. One of them is literally called a resume sieve. That's the name of the organization. So employers have been leveraging from these technologies extensively for many years, utilizing the ATS systems that filters, ranks, and manage your job application. And that's even before a human person gets involved in the application process. And if you think that because you're a senior executive, that doesn't apply to you, that's incorrect. So if you're working for banks or SaaS companies or tech companies or health organizations, chances are, yes, you will go through the same ATS system or a variation of it. And even Watermark, I know you guys don't have an HA system per se, you have a very large CRM system. And when you're searching for candidates in your CRM system, you look for keywords, right? Donna is nodding, yeah. So in this data-driven systematic way of doing recruitment, candidates who are unfamiliar with these nuances of how ATS systems work and how keyword searching works in CRMs, they find themselves at a disadvantage. And that has been happening for quite some time, and bottlenecking good candidates that can't convert to a short list because their applications doesn't really speak the language of the software that is analyzing them. And ChatGPT has been designed to, well, you can design it with your prompt to understand these systems and help job seekers navigate them more effectively because they are unemotional. They are objective. They're going to read the job application and capture what you have done in your career that correlates to that job description. So by using it to draft your resumes and your cover letters and even prepare for interviews, you are essentially leveraging from the same technology that the employers have been using for a long time, right? So this is an amazing opportunity and we need to reap that reward. So this not only evens out the playing field, but it will also enhance your ability to present yourself in a way that these systems will recognize and will appreciate. And I know many of you, go yes or no in the chat. Many of you have often been frustrated. Why wasn't I chosen? And maybe it is because you haven't been speaking the language used in recruitment and selection. So ChatGPT is not just a nice to have, it's a really crucial strategy to stand out in your job search. What do you think, Donna?
I'm already starting to feel very empowered and waiting for this, for the rest of the content. Look, I absolutely agree. I think we hear all the time the frustrations from executives around, various roles they applied for, not hearing, and there'll be a range of reasons why perhaps they were not successful. But to your point, and certainly I know you'll touch on LinkedIn and the sort of the algorithms there, but leveraging the language that, when recruiters are sort of going onto LinkedIn and trying to find people and using that as a search function, let alone their own CRMs, this is absolutely a game changer. And we're very pleased to have you here to give us the 101 on how you can optimize it.
Yeah, thank you, Dana. That's right. And we're going to talk about LinkedIn a little bit because it's really important to understand what it's there for. You know, most people don't really understand what it's there for to do. So, well, like I said, you know, this is how I think about the AI and machine learning and bots and data analytics operating in recruitment and selection. You have the influence of artificial intelligence in job seeking that cannot be understated, like I said, and, you know, AI-powered applicant tracking systems, companies that are employing AI-powered systems, like I said, banks and large financial companies, like large tech companies, universities, government. They scan, they filter thousands of resumes, and they may you may be selected out if you don't understand how ATS systems work. Then you have the job search platforms like LinkedIn, right? So those platforms like Seek.com, you know, I have a good friend, his name is Tiago Liberali, he's the head of AI for Seek.com. Right, and that's, you know, something people don't realize is that if you understand how AI works, you can actually leverage from that to optimize the job search and have not only if you don't use Seek, that's fine. If you use LinkedIn, if you have LinkedIn sending you great job applications, that's already one great thing. But what you can also do is ensure that your LinkedIn profile is optimized so they can find you. Because LinkedIn is a search tool. You want to show, let's say, if you have this analogy between LinkedIn and Google, you want to show on the first page of the Google that is LinkedIn for recruiters, right? Yep. You don't want to end up on the third or fourth page. You won't be found for your expertise and your specialty and your location and the things you want to do. So that's how you can think about how job search platforms are powered by AI. And then you have the AI-powered resumes and cover letters, which I think is a game changer for you as a savvy job seeker to use ChatGPT, for example, and optimize those resumes and cover letters and even help you with the interview preparation. We're going to do the demonstration that really showcases how that's done. So, you know, by embracing AI in job seeking, you can navigate this job market way more effectively and stand out to potential employers and secure more opportunities to move forward in a recruitment and selection, which is a competition with a lot of qualification stages, milestones that you need to overcome and challenges that you need to overcome. That's not to say you're going to get a job at the end, because AI, there is learnings and professional and career development that you have to do outside of the AI world, and we're going to talk about that in part 3. But it certainly can help you overcome the initial bottlenecks of your job search if you're stuck there. And if you're stuck there, if you can use the chat just to let us know that that has been something that you have encountered. So, for example, I recently worked on a couple of consultations with a senior financial executive who had applied several times in the energy sector for senior financial roles and wasn't getting through. As soon as he worked with me, and, you know, within a combination of working with me and learning and me teaching him how to use ChatGPT, he got a job interview. It's right. And he had been months that, you know, so many different issues in his resume and the way that he was writing his cover letter that just did not resonate.
My takeaway here is that, I mean, everyone on the call will have various levels of experience and I guess appetite and maybe nervousness, maybe fear of using ChatGPT. And then there are a lot of questions. I know some of these will probe at the end around ethics or around plagiarism and what all of that means. Is that even a thing with the ChatGPT? But really would be quite delusional if we didn't recognise that this is here to stay, and this is the environment that we're operating in when we are executive job seekers. That it's and if you're not taking the opportunity to at least understand or learn more about it, then you're probably a step behind.
Yes, and the idea here is not really to create a brand new resume that is not authentic to you. The idea here is to create a resume that is completely authentic to you and to your experience that sometimes you have been unable to draft yourself. So that's the amazing thing about ChatGPT. So like I said, I have this document here and I'm just showcasing it for you so you can see all the different prompts for different things that we're going to talk about in a minute, because I don't want you to need to sort of write things down. So this is a very sort of comprehensive basic guide. So it's a funny thing to say, but you know, it's a one-on-one, but it has lots of different prompts. And I think if you go through all of these prompts over the weekend, you're going to be a very savvy user. So I would really be delighted if you subscribe to my newsletter so I can gift it to you. So how can ChatGPT assist you in job seeking? So let's go through some of the things that you can do with it. So document creation, right? It can be useful to draft and improve your resumes and cover letters. We're going to demonstrate that in a minute. It can be a useful tool to creating those resumes that are easily read by the bots in the ATS softwares, because ChatGPT understands how these things operate. And I have created some resumes with ChatGPT last week, and they have been fantastic. It can help you create a professional summary, a list of job responsibilities that you've had for your role. You can prompt it, you know, just copy paste what your job description was and ask it to list the job of responsibilities so that you can create those dot points for your resume. It can create your achievements, again, by you copy pasting your achievements into ChatGPT and asking it to create dot points starting with action verbs. See what I mean? So it's really about learning those prompts in the workbook that I created for you. And optimize it for ATS. That's what you can do. Copy paste your entire resume into ChatGPT and say, please optimize my resume for the ATS system. It will know what to do. Okay, so but remember that the more specific you are with the document creation with your prompts, the better the AI will be able to assist you. It is super important to review and tailor it as well once it generates the content for you, so that it is accurately representing your skills, your experience, and your career goals. Because sometimes, and I mean, this is a very smart tool, but sometimes it makes mistakes. It sort of gets things wrong, and you have to, of course, review it. It's a first draft. It's never the final draft, right? But it's a damn good first draft. In terms of interview preparation, it can be used to simulate interviews, generate responses to common questions. Again, you know, in the way that I demonstrated, you will see, and you know, you copy paste your experience and then ask it to respond to a specific question, and it will respond giving examples from your experience, from your resume, and help you educate it. It will educate you on how to answer interview questions correctly. It can be an excellent tool for interview preparation, I have found. And some of the prompts that I have used have been things like, provide me with a list of common interview questions for this job. And you can copy paste the entire position description or the job ad you found on LinkedIn, or you can say the position is Chief Operating Officer, for example. And then you can learn how to do behavioral questions. So, you know, provide a list of behavioral interview questions relevant to a project management role. You can ask it to do a mock interview with you. Let's conduct a mock interview for this position description, or you just copy paste the job title if you don't have the position description. Again, the more accurate the prompt, the better the mock interview will be. And then salary negotiation, I think, can be learned. You know, how can I negotiate my salary effectively during an interview? But there are limitations to it, because we are going to talk about it in part 3. The network and the sources on the ground will really make it way better from what you've learned on ChatGPT and how you deliver it on the day when you're negotiating your salaries. So, for example, I have clients that recently had a bump in their salaries that they were offered to them in their offer by 30 to 40%, which is a huge bump. And I'm not saying I'll get that every time, but I also am saying that that wouldn't have happened if they didn't have the confidence of working with a coach, and ChatGPT won't teach you that. So remember, you can adjust the prompt according to specific roles and industries. And also the answers that are provided by ChatGPT are, a starting point, a guide for you to then start educating yourself, because ChatGPT is way more objective than you and less tired than you. What the thing that I have felt has really resonated with my clients that started using ChatGPT is that you're usually looking for work late at night, and ChatGPT is not tired and you're exhausted after a full day of work. So that has usually been well received as well as an assistant or mentor even, that you had no idea you could have. Then you have job searching. So it can help you find job opportunities based on desired parameters. It can help job seekers find potential opportunities by generating prompts. So for example, provide some tips on how to use LinkedIn effectively for job searching for this specific role. It could be a project management role in the telecommunications sector. So you have to be specific. What are the key points I should research about a company before applying for a job? Again, not just a company, but list the name of the organization. So those specific prompts can be very helpful, very educational, and create a list that I think is way more well curated than what you would be able to Google. We have been using Google, but Google, the quality I find is not there, whereas with the ChatGPT, as you will see in the demo, is much more high quality. And then you have continuous learning. So it can assist you in learning new skills, improving existing ones, things like what are the key skills needed for a data analyst, and how can I develop them? So especially if you're changing careers, so with this group of people here, I'm thinking of, what are the key skills needed to become a board director or a chair or a CEO, and how can I develop them, right? So use the title, use the industry, use your location, be as specific as you can. And the worthwhile certifications for a specific career change. Let's say you want to be a mediator or, like I said, a board director. All of those things are some things that you can ask ChatGPT to support you with.
Renata, we've got many eager people trying to load the workbook down. I was just letting them know that'll be available after the session, ready to go.
Well, it is available. So if they subscribe using that link on my... Yeah.
Issues downloading
it. Oh, downloading it from the website. Oh, okay. So you will receive an email, and the email has a link, and it should be downloading. But if it's not, I will just send it again to everybody that has subscribed. I will just find it in my CRM, and I will email you after this and make sure that you all receive the workbook. There's no problem whatsoever. I'm very happy to do that. Any other questions before we go to demo?
There were some questions earlier on around cover letters and the importance of those, and do executive recruiters actually read them, was sort of the sense. And I think it's probably more a question for us at Watermark. And, absolutely, we use that as the opportunity for everything that you've been saying to, on a one page, how, summary of how this person's experience actually aligns to the job brief. And so how that is crafted is hugely important to the interest in then continuing to sort of learn more about that candidate. So certainly from my experience at Watermark, we do take all of that documentation quite seriously. I'm not sure of your view on that in working.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm close to 200 episodes on the Job Hunting Podcast now. I'd say 100 of those are interviews. I'd say 80 of those are people that are like you, Donna, and definitely cover letters, especially at that senior executive level, is incredibly important for your application. We're going to demonstrate that now with ChatGPT and how to write it. Yeah. Okay, so I have recorded with voice, so I'm going to be quiet now, or I'll speak on top of it. But before I do that, I just need to put my volume up because I have a very soft voice and we tested it earlier and the sound was low. So the volume is going all the way up, but if you find that I still have a soft voice, everyone, on the video that I'm about to share, put your volumes up as well. It's all that I can say. I do have quite a soft voice. And it's 10 minutes long. So if you're super familiar with ChatGPT and you don't think you need to watch this, you can take a break. Let's go. Everyone, let's start this demonstration. So what I asked Donna to do was to send me a brief, an assignment, a role brief for an interim executive role. Now, this is pretty standard for Donna to do at Watermark. It's not a full position description. It's not a full job ad. We're dealing here with interim executives, and things move really fast, and the brief is quite short. That's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy the brief I received for Chief People Officer, copy, and then we're going to go to ChatGPT and say, nicely, I'm always nice to ChatGPT. I say, hello ChatGPT, can you please help me write a cover letter for this position? And it will do so. Look how fast. Okay. Now, this cover letter here that ChatGPT is doing is pretty much paraphrasing what was in the role brief and is expanding on each of the dot points without any association with a candidate. So right now, all it's doing is getting the information that the employer wants and flicking it back to the employer with more detail. What we will do now is ask ChatGPT to do this again for a specific person. So I created a simple resume, a sort of very simple, based off somebody I don't know from the website, from the LinkedIn profile. And I called him John Citizen, and I created all of these information here, unidentifiable, and it's really just for us to test the information that ChatGPT will create for us. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, can you rewrite the cover letter for this job applicant in particular? And it will then redo it. So this is my prompt, very long one. It has a word limit, but so far I have been, managing to fit everything in. So this is the cover letter, and now it is amalgamating what the employers want from the brief that we received and what the candidate has done. So as a forward-thinking human resource executive with a proven track record of delivering exceptional value and aligning people out, I'm excited to express my interest. I think this is too long. This is definitely not how I would do it as a career coach. But you will see here that it has mentioned ASX listed companies, experiences between HR senior leaders essential for organizational success, what it has done at ABC Group. A couple of things that I don't like personally, I can change. So one thing that you can do is you can regenerate to see if it comes up with a different version that you like. And this is more to the point. I like that. I'm writing to express my strong interest. That is usually how I like to start, not with a lot of wishy-washy. So that's already coaching from me there for you. I think it's too long, and I'm worried it's not going to fit into a one page. So I could say, please rewrite so that it fits into one A4 page. I know I do this because ChatGPT is American and they use letterhead over there. So it's a smart little bot. It will know what to do, and it will make sure that whatever it's writing will fit into A4. So it's much smaller, and I can also say regenerate if I want to have a different version of that.
I would probably also ask for it to dot point the key areas of achievement instead of writing them in paragraphs. So you can say, can you rewrite so that my key achievements are in dot point format, please. I always add please. I'm very nice.
So polite, Renata.
You can do that if you want to. You can always go back and clean it up. You know, I have a slightly different version of this, but it's almost very similar to the one that I offer my clients from inside my teaching platform. The other thing that I can do is change it to an email instead of a letter to the recruiter, Donna Burr. Acknowledge.
Sorry about the mistakes I make, everyone.
Acknowledging that she has called me and emailed me about the role the day before.
I'm assuming this is exactly what happens, Donna.
Something like this, absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Reaching out to me, delighted. There you go. Okay. So this is really something that you can get better and better at. Find the best possible template, and then you can copy this like here. You copy this here, and then you can go back to a Word document. Let's use this one from Donna's brief, and you can paste it. You can paste it here.
Paste it straight on Outlook or Gmail, of course.
Now you can ask ChatGPT to do other things for you. So where are we? We're here. So we can ask, for example, let me just find the example.
You have to ask in the same tab, right? So ChatGPT is learning all these things about this role and about you. So don't change tabs when you are asking for other information. You can go back to this tab later
ChatGPT to come up with questions. So you can say, what would be the most common questions for a job interview for this role? There you go. Okay. Lots of questions there. For question 1, please provide an answer based on my resume. And because I have already added my resume, the resume there, it will say the information that it captured from that resume. Okay. So there you go. It's pretty much, you know, really that good. You can also ask about what are the emerging trends in HR, well, let's just say in higher education, including...
That was part of the brief, everyone. That was in the brief.
Workforce.
It was a higher education job with an aging workforce.
That I should be aware of. So it knows that this is a Chief People Officer position, so I'm assuming it will create, and it did, you know, aging workforce and retention. So it has a little blurb there for you to get to understand more: digital transformation, diversity and inclusion, alternative work arrangements. Look at that. Remote working, workforce agility, right? Can you please recommend books about HR issues in higher
almost at the end, everyone.
Education. Oops. Okay, so if you want to have a career in higher education and you're an HR leader, it can also provide you with books that you can read. That's it, everyone. I'm going to stop here, but there are way more.
All right. I think that demonstrates quite, a few of the prompts that I have in the workbook for you. It gives you an idea of the 4 areas that I spoke about that I think can, really be a game changer for those of you applying for roles now and in the future. I've noticed some questions between the difference of ChatGPT and BART. I think it's for you to try. I'm a very practical person. I've started with ChatGPT and I stuck by it for now. I have clients and friends in this area in AI, developing AI or working like Tiago and Catherine Lopez, who I actually interviewed on the podcast. So if you want to listen to Catherine's episode, it's a bit old, but also it's still very relevant. And I'm still getting feedback that ChatGPT is the way to go for now. But I didn't even know if I was going to be talking about ChatGPT today, because Donna and I started working on this about 3 months ago, and I did mention to you, Donna, let's not let's not work too hard on ChatGPT, because maybe we could work on something else. You can see that I use 3.5, which is the free version. I actually have 4.0, which is the paid version, which I use for my clients. But I wanted you to, start from the basic and start from 3.5.
A couple of questions, if I could, just at this point, or one in particular, because there seems to be a theme, and somebody has summarised it beautifully in the Q&A, saying if everyone was using ChatGPT or another AI-fueled model, how do we differentiate ourselves? How will ATS select if there is AI levels and the playing field? So if everybody's using the same system producing resumes, I think I know the answer to this, but I'll welcome your view. How do we know that things aren't the same generic everybody's resume, for instance, that we
have a slide deck for that. Stay with me, everyone, because we're definitely going to talk about that, because whoever came up with this question, and I know many of you, we have now 181 people listening, so you're already thinking ahead, and you're right. This is going to revolutionize recruitment and selection. I have already noticed across the world. I have clients everywhere. I have clients in every continent now, so it's really amazing to see how things are sort of sprinkling and the trends happening in different countries. Some are more prevalent and more sort of forward than others in countries, and I'm happy to talk about that in a minute. Let me just sort of close this loop here, and then we can move on to what happens beyond the stage that we're in now, when we're starting to adopt ChatGPT or BART or AI to help individuals and not just organizations. That's the game changer, right? Organizations have been using machine learning, bots, AI, data analytics for a long, long time. Now individuals applying for jobs have the ability, the resources that are free, in fact, for them to use it and elevate their game and match the employer's game. Donna, I'm all about giving the power to the people. So that's why this is such an important topic for me. But yeah, it will eventually change recruitment. So let's talk about some final practical tips on using ChatGPT before we move on to talk about what happens beyond AI. So be specific with your prompts, right? So one of the key things about using ChatGPT is to be specific and not be unclear. It will not be able to read your mind. So the more clear, more precise you are, the better your answers will get. You can see, that's why I wanted to demonstrate, because as you can see, it just gets better and better as you start working with it and giving it better prompts, and you can regenerate the responses and so forth. The other thing is to think about this as a continuous learning process. If you try it once and you didn't like it and you don't touch it again, that it won't work for you. It's really that continuous interaction with the AI software that you're using, in my case here, ChatGPT, that will help you understand how to refine your prompts and get better results over time. So treat it as an interactive problem. Don't be frustrated or discouraged by the first time that you do it and it doesn't come up with the responses that you want. And if you are like that client that booked a consultation with me and sent me that email, that is a true, honest email I received earlier this week. Book a consultation with me. It will be worth your investment, right? For sure. So data privacy considerations. So when using ChatGPT or any AI tool, it's really crucial to remember that, that you need to take care of your data privacy considerations. Here, we're talking about job seeking. So it's about your personal data. When you're working with AI, with organizations, you have policies that you need to follow. I teach at Monash University. I teach an elective in the Faculty of Arts for master's students. We had close to 180 students enrolled in that elective last semester. And they can't use AI to do their assignments. And and that's how it is for now at Monash University and the Faculty of Arts, and I think everywhere else at Monash, to be honest. So you need to follow those rules. I work with executives that are fully employed, not looking for work at the moment, and we work with ChatGPT within the realm of the operations and IT. We sort of workshop ideas of how to use AI as an executive assistant, as a research assistant, as another member of staff, quite frankly. So I'm not going to talk about this today, but if anyone wants to understand how that can be done or how to develop better policies internally as well to use AI, just reach out to me and I'd be delighted to help you. You can book a consultation with me to start off with. So yeah, know that this is a really important area, and professionals should also seek out advice from mentors, colleagues, and other trusted sources in the industry, in your city, in your country, to make sure that they're moving forward with the job application in the right way, right? There's nothing better than picking up the phone and say, I just saw a job advertised at AGL, at National Australia Bank, at Google. You work there. Tell me more about it. Do you know the boss? What are they looking for? Why did the person leave? Why is this a new job? Nothing will replace that, everyone. And frankly, nothing will replace me, at least not for now. I'm pretty confident that I can teach you all of these things and still have a job. So there are things there that we need to make sure that we don't overestimate the power of AI. But let's talk about beyond AI, because while ChatGPT, I believe, is instrumental in crafting job applications in 2023 and beyond, it's crucial to remember that the role here for AI is to assist and not replace your efforts or other humans' efforts, right? There are many aspects of job seeking process that will still require personal touch and attention. And I believe, and I see a trend, that personal touch is intensifying, okay? So the next slide will tell you what I've been noticing. And Donna, I'd love to see what you have to say about this as well. So market intelligence, right? So AI can't conduct real-time research. In fact, ChatGPT, unlike BART is a bit better at that. It has stopped learning or the knowledge stopped in September 2021, I think. I'm pretty sure that ChatGPT 5.0 or 4.5, whatever comes next, will upgrade that. But it has, that knowledge has a limitation. So job seekers need to stay informed about their industries and news, and nothing replace reading the Fin Review and the Australian every morning, everybody. Nothing. If you're a senior executive, you still need to do that. If you're overseas, I saw some people in the US, of course, nothing will replace that information and the networking that you need to do, building those genuine human relationships with the headhunters for your sector. People like Donna, if you are in the interim world, people like Jen Darcy, if you are in the permanent role in Melbourne. So individuals, mentors, former bosses, people that can be your referees, reaching out to colleagues and potential connections, nothing will replace that. And fostering those on platforms like LinkedIn is essential moving forward as well.
100%.
Also, yeah.
Comment.
So interviews, while AI can help you prepare, it cannot replace that authentic engagement and interaction, things like the executive presence, the ability that you will need to have confidence to read people's body languages and change the course of the interview during the interview, right? Showcasing your passion for the role, your unique personalities and traits, your authenticity in a way that still resonates with the audience. That's my vibe too. I love doing that, as a coach and helping people. I think people that book interview preparations with me, which is the most popular reason why people book consultations with me year round, is for interview preps. They usually leave quite surprised. I mean, happily surprised, but they expect to go through behavioral questions and stars. And, my IP is very, very different. And it's really about elevating people's executive presence, confidence, and so forth. So AI can't do that yet. And also tailoring your application. So ChatGPT will generate the documents, but it's important for you to personalize it, to add your quirkiness at times. Some people will have a specific brand already formed, and we add that after we work with ChatGPT. When my clients that work with me, I have clients that have very specific professional brands already, and we incorporate those at the tail end of that process when we're generating those job applications. So this requires a real deep understanding, like if I'm coaching somebody, deep understanding of my client. And my client needs to also have very good self-awareness, which we work on during our initial stages of the coaching process. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, negotiation. If you're changing jobs, you want to be 30% better than in your previous job. I'm not saying salary 30% plus, although that would be fantastic. But, the contract negotiations, the flexibility that you want, the conditions, the bonuses, whatever it is. It's important that you understand your worth, your industry, your country, your city. It's vital. And AI will provide negotiation tips, but it will not really be that helpful when you're negotiating salaries. And that's why I also really love doing that with clients. And emotional intelligence. AI lacks emotional intelligence. I don't want you to think AI will be unemotional forever. Chances are emotional is actually very binary. It will eventually learn. That's why I always say please. But a critical aspect in understanding, the interviewer feedback whilst you're there in that tense, adrenaline-driven situation during an interview, having the emotional intelligence to be centered and respond appropriately is imperative. So remember, AI can be powerful, but your personal input, your intuition, a bit of coaching, if you can afford and you want to invest in yourself, may really help you land that perfect job, that great job for you. And I can step in to support you if you need me to, because you don't need to do this alone. I mean, AI will already help you not be so alone. That's the whole point of this presentation. But you should never be alone, honestly. It's a misconception that job hunting should be done behind closed doors and it's detrimental for individuals to share things. It's not. We never learn the best practices in job seeking because we don't talk to each other. We don't share salaries. We don't know what other people are doing. And we're always behind what employers are doing and behind what recruiters want. Yeah. So this is really important. And then what I have noticed is that the bottlenecks are shifting. So I have seen greater emphasis on face-to-face interviews, on social interactions, on use of assessments. Like use of assessment has increased 100% everywhere. I'm so glad that I actually do assessments with my clients, but I have clients that are applying for senior roles. I'm talking C-level roles, director roles, and they're doing 2 days of assignments, like early on in the process. Also, I anticipate that reference checks will be tougher and tougher. I have already noticed that in Melbourne, in Sydney, reference checks become really thorough, really very, very time consuming for both the referees and the candidates. So keep an eye on those trends, because of course something's got to give. If everybody is going to present great, job applications at the beginning of the process, there will be other bottlenecks to, again, shortlist the top candidates. What do you think, Donna?
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see actually how that emerges. And I think if I just go back to some of the other comments, I think you've sort of answered the question around how you individualize. If I sort of paraphrase and summarize, I think AI can be helpful to kind of elevate your pitch, sharpen all the your LinkedIn profile, your resume to get you to the seat. But actually it's still those human skills. It's still you in the seat with whoever's across from you, I guess, selling yourself or talking to experience. But you can maybe sort of jump forward, if you like, in the queue by leveraging the smarts of it. And as someone very rightly put, and you also said it's not going to give you a final draft or the final product first time round. It's that perseverance. It's an adaptive and learning system, so it will learn the sharper your prompts are and be more refined. So it probably gets you 80 or 90% there, and then you need to, as you say, add your quirkiness, your uniqueness to that.
That's right.
And certainly from our perspective, absolutely, clients are, that the face-to-face interaction is still that I can't see that going away. We're humans first.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. You're right. And I think where do we go from now? I want people to leave this presentation and go and take action. So the workbook, if you're having trouble downloading it, I'll send it to you again. I'll send it to everybody that signed up since an hour ago. Learn more about my services. The funny thing, I was talking to a client yesterday about this. Inside Reset Your Career, which is $199 Australian dollars, we have this session, which is the gamification of job application, where I teach people to seek out the keywords and then gamify your cover letter and your resume so that you use all the keywords in your cover letter and your resume. So if you purchase Reset Your Career, I know some people here that have done it, because I saw your names in when we were signing up. One of the great things is that you then start understanding how AI works. AI works like that. I was actually gamifying job applications and teaching people how to correlate the keywords with your resume. And that's what AI is doing much faster than you could. So learn about my services. The LinkedIn audit is also about optimizing your LinkedIn for that searchability so that you appear in the right searches for the right jobs. Start carving out time and money to invest in the return of investment for your career. What is it that you want to achieve in the next 10 years? So let's start working on that. Carving out time, hopefully over the weekend, to play with ChatGPT for the first time, if you haven't done that yet, would be the ideal thing to do. And start small. Don't take, great steps. Yesterday, I had a consultation, a 1-hour consultation booked with somebody who had started a master's degree. I mean, it's such an expensive thing to do, and then dropped out because it was too much, working full time, doing a master's. You don't have to do that. Start small. Don't go and enroll in like a 1-year MBA or a 10K AICG course. Those are tactical moves. They're not strategic moves. If you don't know your plan yet, start building blocks to bring you closer to understanding yourself first, understanding the job market before jumping into a big investment of time and money. So that's what I recommend. And I'd love to work with you. So please, come and visit me, subscribe to my newsletter. I send it every week with the new episode of the Job Hunting Podcast and some articles and ideas and news from me that are really designed to help people that are looking for jobs and people that are keen to advance their careers in the next 2, 3, 5 years. So if that's you, I promise not to bother you too much. It's a once a week kind of thing. And, a lot of people take a lot out of those newsletters. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if people now feel more confident about using AI for job search. So if Alicia could bring on the next poll, we can answer some questions if we have time. Donna, what do you think?
We're actually top of the hour, and I would do like to stay true to time. I know there's been a few questions go through the chat that people have added. We will take a transcript of the chat. If there's some specific questions there, we will look to try and respond to your questions. I'm looking forward.
Can we do what we did last time, Donna, and do a job hunting podcast with the Q&A? So I answer all the questions in a future episode.
Thank you. Look, if that would be fabulous. Renata has done that in the
past.
We'll take the transcript, and what Renata has done in the past is sort of take those questions and weave them into a second podcast that sort of expands on the topic. So thank you, Renata. You're always so generous. So thank you for the questions. If you've got any final ones, put them on the transcript. We'll capture them. Really curious to hear where people are sitting at the moment with this poll. Fabulous. There we go. There's some results.
Wonderful. If you're not sure, come have a consultation with me, the 6%.
Renata, thank you. This has been really informative. Again, thank you for your preparation and the workbook that I know hopefully everyone will jump on and download. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you everybody for joining us. I know a number of people have had to jump off. We will get to your questions, but hopefully some useful insights and tools for you to really kind of elevate your approach to the market and your resume and preparing and so forth. So thank you, Renata, and thank you everybody for joining us. We look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Bye for now.
Bye everyone. Bye-bye.